Some conceptions end in miscarriages, majorly before the 10th week of pregnancy. So this is your week 5 of pregnancy. Hooray! We have established that you are now a mother. You've done the pregnancy test. It's positive, and I'm sure you're probably finding it hard to express yourself. What are the mixed feelings? Are you happy? Are you confused? Are you a first-time mom? Are you a mom who has been gifted with another child and you're like, how did it happen? Or have you always been looking for that bundle of joy? So at this moment, no matter the category you find yourself, you are finding it a little somehow to express yourself. Yeah, it does happen. It did happen to me. It does happen to me. The first, the second, the third, it was always an excited moment. I was always excited about being pregnant. Given the privilege by God to have a replica of me, and I'm the one who is to do that. Isn't that amazing? I consider that the most wonderful gift ever given to man. Within this moment, your feelings are being, how do I put it? You kind of start having fluctuating feelings. Your emotions are being affected in one way or another. Mine is typical. It's typical of me to always cry. I cry about almost everything. I find myself crying, and I enjoy it. Just do something little that I can just overlook, that anybody can just overlook, and you find me crying about it or crying over it. And there's just one culprit to that, and that's estrogen. Estrogen is responsible for the fluctuating mood swing, feeling, whatever that goes on inside of you. Your inability to coordinate yourself, you just don't know what's wrong with you. The hormone responsible for that is none other than estrogen. Estrogen is not that bad because it helps your uterus to enlarge enough to contain your baby. So it's also responsible for stimulating your milk gland to fully develop. Medications. If you want to take any kind of medications, ensure it is safe, ensure it is a prescribed medication for you. You don't want to go about doing something that you will regret. There are cases whereby the baby still stays and is not affected, or you feel the baby is not being affected by the medication you take, and at the end of the day, you tend to give birth to a child whom you make to suffer for the rest of his or her life. So you don't want to go about that. So can we be very, very careful when we are dealing with such things? The moment you feel you're pregnant, please stay away from harmful substances, alcohol, tobacco, drugs, whatever. Make sure you reach your doctor or your medical practitioner or your medical professional to get the adequate advice to move you on through the stage of pregnancy. For cases whereby people are asthmatic, although an attack can be a problem for you because of the lack of oxygen, because your baby actually needs oxygen a whole lot for development. So if you know that having an attack can starve your baby of oxygen, it is always essential. It is so essential that you let your medical professional know that you are asthmatic, so as to get the right medication given to you rather than you going across the counter to get your own medication. Let's be careful. Handling miscarriages and fever. Some conceptions end in miscarriages, majorly before the 10th week of pregnancy. Many women miscarry without even knowing, as it comes out more like a heavy period. The cause of most miscarriages are not even established because it comes out like a heavy period. So sometimes you just feel, my period is late, and somehow it just came out. Some early miscarriages might be as a result of imperfect embryo that isn't developing properly. Believe me, it's better off that embryo comes out as a miscarriage. Otherwise, that child will have to suffer for the rest of his or her life. So it isn't something to lament about, especially if you are an expectant mom or you've been looking for a child for quite some time and it just happens. Please learn to let go. The body itself has a way of compensating or refreshing itself. But if that doesn't happen, no, I don't pray that happens to anybody. You don't want to see your baby suffering, do you? Do not take a sauna or hot bath before the 16th week of pregnancy. There have been cases whereby some people who have been expecting to get pregnant go for a hot bath or a sauna, and it resulted into miscarriages. Maybe unknowingly. If you haven't expecting a child, just stay away from the spa. Just stay away from the spa. You don't need all that until you are certain that you have had a baby. There are other ways you can refresh yourself. Just choose one of them and stay away from a sauna. A high fever can also trigger miscarriages or harm your baby in the early weeks. So if there is anything that is going to result into you being feverish, do away with it. And if, for instance, you notice that you are beginning to have a high fever, go and have a cold bath, or you take a cold press, or you take a cold shower in order to bring down your temperature. No self-medications. Go to the doctor. The placenta, the baby's go-between. The placenta nourishes your baby and removes the waste products. Your baby gets its nourishment from your blood, but it just doesn't go directly to the baby. It is first screened by the placenta, which takes only the nutrient that the baby wants. Now, isn't that parasitic? This is the puzzle. This is exactly why a baby can have a different blood group from its mother, yet draw a lot of nourishment from its mom. When I was a child, I was wondering how babies do breathe inside the womb, and I'm like, how does it happen? Is it that the mother breathes in and then the child breathes from what the mother is breathing? You can almost exchange the baby for a fish and wondering if the baby's ears are gills. But your baby does not breathe in the womb. The placenta sends the oxygen to your baby and helps the baby to get rid of the waste, which is the carbon dioxide too. So the placenta is a lifesaver. So this is why you breathe fast all the time when you're pregnant, and you need more oxygen. You have to keep breathing. And somebody will be asking, like some people will ask you, why are you breathing like this? You're breathing like you're gasping for the whole air. You want to take in the whole air. That is because your baby actually needs that air. You're sharing it between yourself and your baby. So you need enough oxygenated blood to nourish you and nourish your baby, because you're carrying a human being inside you. So your heart and your lungs have to work harder to ensure enough oxygenated blood for you and your baby. And as this process increases, the pregnancy progresses. Week 5. In the majority of cases, the embryo may not properly attach or find sufficient nourishment to grow. Women prone to this may need special precautions and will need medical attention. So there, what happens to you in your week 5 of pregnancy? You feel like your period may start at any moment. Secondly, you feel a little nauseous. The pregnancy hormones are now taking control of your body to ensure it nurtures the baby to term. You might experience different changes in your skin texture or your skin appearance. Some becomes greasy and some become very dry. What is the texture of your skin? What is the appearance of your skin? Is it appearing greasy? Is it appearing dry? Because if it is greasy, you'll be having breakouts. So are you having breakouts, or is your skin dry? So let us know that in the comments below. What's happening to your baby? Your baby has a head and a tail, and the brain is beginning to form. The spine is forming, the internal organs and the digestive tract is beginning to get set. The amniotic sac is developing. This is the envelope of fluid that cushions and protects your baby as the pregnancy is progressing. If you don't know what the amniotic sac is, that is the water that breaks. When you say the water broke, how water broke, you're talking about the amniotic fluid. So the sac is what has the fluid in it, and then your baby is inside that sac, developing, growing and having all the organs it requires to be a full human being. So that'll be all for week 5. Once again, congratulations. This is Jovita Apala, and I'll see you in week 6. Bye for now.